Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and on my ever journey to find out the good and bad bits about self-employed estate agency, I have my main man, Jason Cannon, who is the operating principal of Keller Williams in Bromley. Good morning, Jason. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, Christopher. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Yesterday, Josh Rayner, friend to the industry, personnel sort of guy, published the results of his mood of the estate agency industry. And I just want to give you some headlines, and then I'd like you to dissect them and see what this could mean for employed estate agents and their jobs. So here's some headlines. 14% of people were concerned about their job security. This is a poll of 6,500 estate agents. Nearly 25% questioned their firm's loyalty during this COVID crisis, and 20% liked working from home. The bit that really concerned me is the 25% who were concerned about their firm's loyalty. Why do you think nearly a quarter of estate agents are questioning their firm's loyalty?
I think for me, Chris, probably lack of leadership from some of these bigger businesses. They're not hearing from their leaders. So what are they to believe other than that perhaps their job's in jeopardy, their future's in jeopardy, their future's in doubt?
Do you genuinely believe that a good chunk of UK estate agents, be that actual firms or employees, will go potentially out of business or lose their jobs in Q3, Q4 this year?
Yeah, I think a big number. I think those that have studied the numbers in detail, the Russell Quirks, the Andrew Benns, that they can give you those kind of statistics. But their belief is that the landscape is going to look very, very different in 6 months' time.
I mean, certainly there's a big pipeline of sales on the go at the moment, but there's not been much pushed in at the end. And if you actually look at all the economics, and I'm a property journalist myself by profession, we're going to see at least 30% lower transaction numbers this year compared to last. And we're already only at 70% of the 10-year average. So if there's less transactions coming through, that means there's less commission to pay. So the bottom line is that I do genuinely believe either firms will go to the wall, or a lot of firms will make valuers and negotiators redundant. Do you think that's why the 14%? I mean, are you surprised with the 14% being concerned about their job security? Do you think that should be more, or should be more, or could be more?
Yeah, I expect that number to be greater. I was quite surprised at 14%. It's I would have guesstimated it was probably up in the 50s and 60s, but maybe that poll of 6.5 is just an indication.
Do you think some agents are probably living in a false world, or a happy valley world, where in reality we think it's going to go back to normal?
Yeah, that seems to be the response. So we talk to a lot of agents in Keller Williams. Outside of Keller Williams, we talk to a lot of business owners, and I think there's a lot of people with their head in the sand still, Chris. I really believe that. Oh, we're furloughed, we're fine. A month, 2 months, 3 months. And I asked them the question, well, what's your plan B? You don't have control over your future because it's not your business. So there isn't the loyalty there, and we know that. So what's going to happen to you in the future? What are you going to do?
Do you think people? I'm talking more about valuers and senior negs and branch managers that value. Do you think they, in the last few years, have really enjoyed their job?
No, I
Why?
don't think so. I talk to a lot of agents, and they feel undervalued, underpaid most certainly, and they're expected to do more and more hours. Oh, we're going to give you an extra £1,000 or an extra 1,500 quid, but you've got to work 6 days a week now, or 6.5 days a week and stuff. I definitely feel undervalued.
Okay. I mean, okay, you're part of Keller Williams. As everybody knows, I'm a huge fan of Keller Williams, as I am of the Sean Newman, Fine and Country, Perry Power, Richard James, EXP, the accommodation model. There's so many Remax. I love them all. None of you are perfect, and of course, let's be honest, you're an operating principal of one of the main centres. I mean, being self-employed is a potential option. Don't get me wrong; it is a great option, and you can take, people can keep between 60 and 90% of their fee with you guys, can't they? And with most of them, can't they?
Yes, they can. Yeah. Um, no, it's not for everybody, Chris. We know that. Um,
Try.
Perhaps.
I'll tell you here and now. Let's turn this one around. We've got another 4 minutes because I like to keep under 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Try and talk me out of being a self-employed agent. I know this is completely against the grain. Talk me out of being a self-employed agent. Go on.
Talk you out of being a self-employed agent. If
Because
you like standing still,
it looks great, doesn't it? You earn shed loads of money and you can work from home and it's going to be brilliant. You must come
yeah,
across
if you,
people come across your door who are shit hot valuers working for your Harts and your Connells and your Dexters of this world who think they're going to rake it in. What? And I bet you a pound to a penny, they've joined you lot, and 3 months, 6 months later, they've gone back with their tail between their legs back to where they came from. What did they do or didn't do that your successful ones do or don't do? And you've got 3 minutes.
I
Go.
think following people that have done it before, Chris. We know that the most successful agents all over the world are those that are learning based, and they follow models, and they follow other agents that have been before them, and they learn from their mistakes. They learn from their learnings.
Do you
You
often
don't
find
need to really.
do you often find that there's valuers that come in who are big, hot shot, shit hot converting machines who say, well, I don't need your bloody models, your fancy American model, and then just ignore it? What tends to happen to those?
They take 3 months to realise that they should have listened in the first place, maybe.
Okay. A lot of valuers are great at converting, but not necessarily business generating, and they fear the word no and rejection, and hence they won't go door knocking or picking the phone up. Is there
Yeah.
a is there a direct relationship to being successful and going to get the business? Of course there is, but you're going to say that. And how do you teach someone to get over that fear?
We train agents a lot. We coach agents. We do script role play every day with agents to give them that confidence. We give them the tools and the operating guidelines to help them overcome that limiting belief that they can't go out and find business themselves. We've just launched a new nurture program called Nurture, which is, I think, the industry in terms of tracking your numbers and constantly staying in touch with a database of clients that you build up over time. So you add value to those people. They see the value in you as a great, and they want to use you and they want to use your services. So that makes that lead generation question much easier to overcome with a lot of agents.
And what would you say to someone who is sitting on the fence, who's worried about paying the bills and things like that? Is it a case of just, putting it all on the credit card and just believing in yourself? It's a bit scary, isn't it?
You've got to have a bit of money behind you, of course you have, but we can work very closely with you to look at your a budget model and an economic model and look at the money you've got going forward. Your expenses are relatively small in terms of
I mean, how
cost
much does
base,
it cost?
and we
How much does it cost to have a Keller Williams franchise where you get all the training and you get your right move account and everything else like that?
£222 a month.
Not bad, is it? And I'm not being
No,
paid to say that either.
yeah, not bad. But I think there's a distinction here, Chris, and this is something I was keen to talk to you about. It's not, we don't teach self-employment. We teach estate agents to become business owners. We teach them to have a business, to grow that business, and then leverage their time so that they can invest their money that they make in other businesses. And that's one of our key principal things. We're not just giving you an opportunity to be self-employed and work within a business. We in fact work for you, and we give you that. We give you the coaching and the training so you can become that business owner.